How's it going, everyone? Want to go over some Expedition 33 updates for you guys. A lot of notes and news about the game as far as the future of what they're going to do and how the success of the game has changed everything. And a note about memorabilia and purchases that are being made as far as plushies being created. My boy SK, beloved character, however, it seems like some nefarious ones are making plushies of him and selling them as if they were legitimate items, but the Expedition 33 Twitter account did put out some clarification. I want to go over that at the end of this video, but right off the bat, Clair, Obscur, Expedition 33 on Nintendo Switch 2, potentially, and other notes about the future of the game. It was noted in an interview with a French YouTube channel, Mr. MV, Broche, head of Sandfall Interactive, noted, well, at this point, considering the success of the game, it kind of changes everything. So clearly, it's too early to say, but we're kind of in a situation where, let's just say there are a lot of opportunities showing up, way too many at once, and we're figuring out what we'll go for and what we won't. But yeah, it's definitely something that could be interesting. Now, there's a lot to actually dissect there as far as the opportunities that are showing up, and I think a lot of people are just going to gloss over that, but Sandfall Interactive is now a studio that has absolutely arrived. They are somebody that already worked with Microsoft in the form of creating a game for them, for Game Pass, I should say. A game that ended up on Game Pass day one, and it looked to be a very, very mutually beneficial agreement. Financial compensation, more exposure to the game with more accessibility to the game, given that, you know, it's just a part of a subscription service, and I can go on and on. What I am bringing to you guys is that Sandfall Interactive at this point I don't believe is owned by any publisher. They are an independent group at this stage of the game. Yes, Kepler Interactive did publish Expedition 33, but Sandfall is free to do whatever. If you don't think that they are having opportunities and deals that are being approached to them about potential ownership, potential acquisition, potential deals being created for upcoming games, so on and so forth, just deals of that nature now that they have arrived, they have established themselves. Mind you, they already did a deal with Microsoft for this game when nobody knew who they were back when the game was initially revealed and it was announced to come to Game Pass day one. Now that Expedition 33 has arrived, now that the game has sold incredibly well and it's legitimately received as one of the best RPGs of all time, some are saying that one of the best video games of all time, they are going to be getting a lot of opportunities thrown their way, and a lot of them, you guys, are going to be incredibly, let's just say, enticing to them. I don't know as far as what kind of business deals would be going on, but you would have to imagine a Microsoft, a PlayStation, anybody would be salivating to have a Sandfall Interactive under their umbrella. It would go without question, but I really do wonder what their thought process is. Remember, this is a lot of people that left Ubisoft, and they left, I don't want to say the clutches of Ubisoft, the big bad Ubisoft. We broke free and we're like the, I don't know what it is in Star Wars, but we're fighting the big bad. No, it's just like, you know what, they wanted to do their own thing and they dropped this game. If they have an opportunity where, you know, they're owned by another entity, or you have a Microsoft or a PlayStation, now obviously they would probably exponentially increase their budget and their outlook, whatever, as far as that's concerned. But I'm also not a big fan of Sony owning anybody these days. You know, Sony's made a lot of bad decisions these days with a lot of the studios that they already have, but I would rather Sandfall really be left to their own devices to do whatever they want. If there's an entity that wants to publish their next game or publish whatever they do, you know, they can come to the table and publish it, but I don't want it to be a situation where Sony and Microsoft or whoever is interfering with what Sandfall is gonna do. Obviously, they have a passion for this, and that's what you notice out of Expedition 33 more than anything. There's this immense amount of passion out of the game, and I think that's why it resonated with a lot of people. On top of that, incredible battle system, soundtrack, so on and so forth. I would say, I think this is an IP they could invest a lot more into, but at the very least, foundationally, from a gameplay standpoint, they should at least carry this on over to other projects that they do. If they don't want to expand Expedition 33 with another full-fledged game, I am pretty confident they are going to do DLC, because it just makes too much sense to me to do DLC content, package it all in a physical release, bring it to Switch 2, re-release it on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series. You could do like a PC re-release in a digital form, and people would be salivating at a physical release of that, especially if you get all the content actually on disc and not do a Doom Eternal Doom Dark Ages situation, and on Switch 2, you know, maybe not do a game keycard. I feel like this is the type of game everybody would want all that content and preserve it as well. But I think DLC will absolutely happen, and when you see the structuring of Expedition 33, it's a game that really feels like DLC should be on the table, and with the success of the game, I think everybody would gravitate towards DLC, and DLC is something that doesn't have to end up on Game Pass day one. So yeah, a lot of people checked out the game on Game Pass. Okay, now if you want to play some more of it, you'll have to pay whatever it is, the $9.99, $14.99, or they could work out a deal with Microsoft to get it on Game Pass again. They could do whatever at this point. If Microsoft wants to do a great deal for it, which I'm sure that's a lot of what's being thrown at them. It's a lot of enticing, amazing deals because they went from an unknown, you guys, to a Game of the Year delivering studio. How often does that happen? I get it kind of happened last year with Shift Up and Game Science with Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade. I feel like this is on another level, especially because Expedition 33 really came out of left field. It's only been announced for 9 months or so leading into its release, 10 months. Black Myth Wukong was announced for 4 years. Shift Up had Stellar Blade announced for 3 or 4 years. This game, announced for 9 months, it was seen as more of a AA experience, came out of left field, and blew everybody away. And when I say left field, I just mean for like the overall gaming audience to have exposure of it. But I think a Switch 2 release will happen. I think DLC will happen. What I'm really curious about is after that, because who's gonna handle the publishing of their next game? What kind of offers are being brought to them right now? And I'm really curious to know what they'll ultimately go for, but I think a lot of that is they should really keep it to what they are passionate about, because I feel like that's why this game resonated with so many people so much, where if you did have other parties being involved with it, I'm not saying the game wouldn't be good or whatever they do in the future wouldn't be good, but I feel like some of that could be diluted. But that's just my 2 cents. Whatever they do next, obviously it's gonna be one of the more anticipated games. Like, whatever comes out 5 years from now as their next major game, or 4 years from now, however long it takes, that is going to instantly become one of the most anticipated games of the year, given that this is the next title from the studio that did the Game of the Year all those years ago, you know, by the time we get to 29, 2030, whenever it is. Moving on from that, I did also want to cover this story that the Expedition 33 Twitter account noted. We've noticed a number of suspicious websites popping up claiming to sell SK plushies. This makes us woo. To be clear, any third-party websites selling SK plushies are not officially licensed. Many of them are using AI-generated artwork to advertise, and we strongly recommend against purchasing from these sources. They could be scams. But here's the we to balance out the woo. We are looking into making official SK plushies, and we want to bring them to you as soon as we can. In the meantime, please be patient and don't get scammed. Okay, so official SK plushies are coming. Official, I think, Expedition 33 merchandise is coming, but I think the SK plushie in particular, man, that's gonna sell like hotcakes. That's gonna do incredibly, incredibly well from a financial standpoint, and they could probably do a couple of other plushies, but I do think the SK plushie honestly would do the best. I think SK is just loved, and it's the character that I feel like if you're gonna buy a plushie, like, brother, I ain't looking to pick up a Gustav plushie. I don't know, maybe some people are, but an SK plushie, okay, I'm personally not probably the target audience for an SK plushie, but you know, maybe I'll sneak one in there. Maybe I'll get an SK plushie as well. But yeah, don't be picking up any of the bootleg AI promoted plushies for now, or even merchandise, but wait for the official licensed merchandise to drop, and I will make sure to let you guys know about that. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, the future of Expedition and Sandfall Interactive, really, the world is their oyster as far as what they can do. I am sure they are being inundated with a lot of offers. They are being approached with a lot of potential deals, and it'll be interesting to see what they go for, what they won't. I think DLC is definitely gonna happen. I would be surprised if there isn't some form of a re-release as a complete edition or Game of the Year edition with all the content sometime next year, maybe alongside a Switch 2 port. That makes a lot of sense to me, especially if you want to do a Switch 2 port and you want to get all the content on the game keycard. You do have to fork over the little bit of extra cash for the 64GB card, but you'll also want to offer value in terms of selling it for $60 to $70. So if you have the DLC bundled in, that's the route that I think would make the most sense. So we'll see see how all of that shakes out, and I am very optimistic for the future of Sandfall Interactive. And as far as official merchandise goes, if you want to get an SK plushie, don't be picking it up now. However, sometime down the line and sometime soon, they are looking into making official SK plushies. So I'll give you guys a heads up on that when that information does drop. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.